Well, I like your purse there, Jaylo. And you got your phone on you?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Are you recording this?
Yes, of course. I just started.
I have a song. So I introduced you last week to the Manhattan Transfer, and you said you really liked them.
They were good.
Yeah, they were very good. And they did a version of a song called Another Night in Tunisia, which is a jazz type of song. And they did it with Bobby McFerrin, featuring Bobby McFerrin, and I believe the guy's name is John Hendricks. I think he goes by Scatman John.
You played that for me last week.
Yes, it was great.
Yes.
Great version of it. It's on my likes list.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're liking the likes list.
I am. I listen to it almost every morning now. I do. I really do. And sometimes if I don't want to hear a certain song, even if I like it, I'll skip it.
Yeah.
So, like this morning, I think the name of the song is called Easy Lover. It's with the one that goes, she's an easy lover. It's with Phil Collins, and I guess the guy's name is Philip Avery. And I'm not sure where he's from, if he has a group or if he sings stuff, but it's a great song.
Last night, I had my Google Home Mini plugged in because I have both the Dot and the Mini.
Yes.
I was trying to play my favorites list or my like songs list off of YouTube Music. And of course, you're on the phone. And I could only get it to play one song before I had to switch to their casting, which is kind of like their version of Bluetooth.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound fun.
No.
Because you don't have the choice, right? Yeah.
It was upsetting me.
That's okay. That's okay. You can't always get what you want.
Babes.
Yes.
Without going into every detail, I'm here early this week because you have a application that you needed help with.
Yes, it's a very I don't know why I have to do this, but apparently it's I don't want to get into it, but it's one of these like really tiresome
important things
that I have to fill out now.
Some context. I think we've been working on it since 9.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours.
2 hours, and we're maybe halfway through, if that.
And two calls and 2 hours later. Yeah.
The lady who you called to get an extension because it was due today.
Yeah.
I will refrain from forward.
I'm gonna say that I think. Without going into detail, I think she did it begrudgingly, and I also think she may have done it reluctantly. But I think because I told her the situation, maybe it's something for her to think about.
Nice.
And hopefully, I am assuming that she is not going to go back on her word, because if she does, then that lady's in serious trouble.
I say what her punishment should be, babes. If she decides to renege on the deal, you and I go to her office and you give me a blowjob in front of her.
No.
What?
No. That is not going to happen.
Okay.
2 wrongs don't make a right, Bubs.
Oh. Well, and then we'll say, listen, you could have been given this.
That's just okay. That's I don't want to.
All right. We don't have to go there, babes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll just say this, Bubs. I'm thinking this person's older.
Oh, one of those.
Older. Definitely older than me.
Yes.
I would imagine.
Well, that's something, babes.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Did you just fart?
No.
Okay, it sounded like you did.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, it was in my stomach.
Gotcha. Oh, that's what it was.
Yes, Bubs.
Very good. It was. Speaking of stomachs, I get over here at around 7:30.
Yeah.
You gave me a really good bar. What was it?
This is from Melaleuca. It's called a Simply Fit bar, and I should eat more of those because they taste better than some granola bars. Actually, I mean, I love granola bars, but there's something in it that it's really good. And it was like a what was it?
It was chocolate caramel, I believe.
Coconut.
Yeah, chocolate caramel coconut.
It's really good. It was really good.
I enjoyed it, and then you also gave me hot chocolate.
I did. I made us both mugs of hot cocoa.
I should say that before coming here, I did have a cucumber for breakfast, not knowing that I was going to be stuffed by my Jaylo.
I don't know if you call it stuffed, but it was something.
We came up with an idea for a dessert, a chocolate taco.
Yes, and I'm guessing you didn't know about this before I told you. Oh, I was just thinking about something. We could use coconut for something, for that dessert. Anyway.
For the sour cream, but keep going.
Coconut?
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's white.
Oh, okay.
Tell me what you're about to say, though.
Yeah, like coconut flakes or something, or pieces of coconut. Anyway, I was going to say that I told you that if you're making a chocolate taco, you don't have to use the actual beef and the lettuce and the sour cream and the cheese.
Here's what happened. I go to the refrigerator because we just had Rice Krispie treats, and I wanted to fill my mouth up with liquidy goodness.
Water.
I got some water. I'm coming back, and I said, babes, what do you think of a chocolate taco? And we make the shells with nuts along with
dark chocolate. Yep.
Then I said, and then we have like the beef or the beans, cheese, and lettuce inside the actual dark chocolate.
And I said, no, you don't have to put the actual stuff in there.
So tell me what you're thinking now, babes.
I was thinking, I just had something. So have you heard of a thing called a magic shell?
It sounds familiar, but refresh my memory.
So, another thing we could do is there's this thing called magic shell where you put it on ice cream and it hardens.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's really cool. So that could be the actual shell if you wanted to make a shell.
Interesting. We were discussing using, now you said caramel and mints.
A caramel could work for like the mint could work for like the green, maybe like
but like the lettuce substitute.
like mint leaves or something. Mm-hmm. And not a whole lot, but just enough. Because you don't want the mint to overpower everything, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the coconut could be for the sour cream because that sounds actually really good. Mm-hmm. Whipped topping could be used for something else.
See, I'm not sure how much I would like mint in this, but it's worth a try. And I told you that my urine is clear, but I'm willing to dehydrate myself.
No.
We could freeze it and then break it up into smaller pieces, and have my yellow urine is cheese. Then just feed it to our guests.
That's disgusting.
Or we could do a Food Wishes parody videos, and I could be like, "This is Chef John with dessert wishes."
That's just gross.
That might be fun, babes.
No, it's disgusting. That's just gross. Ugh. But no, it's an idea. No frozen pea, thank you.
No. Meanwhile, babes, did I tell you that I cut myself yesterday and then I burned my hands? So you can barely feel it, but feel on like my knuckle, on my middle finger, the right hand.
Do you need me to get you some aloe or something?
No, I put aloe on it yesterday, but what's happening was...
Oh, no.
I was using the microplane on some cheese. Because I was making pizza. Yeah. Because you know how I do. I'm pizza obsessive. We're going to have it for dinner. Yes. And I was trying to rotate the cheese. I was doing it fast, and I cut my knuckle.
Oh, like really? Like, did it nick you, or?
It nicked me. I started bleeding, so I put on a Band-Aid. Okay. And that helped. Okay. But then, so I was making the pizza inside a cast iron skillet. Yeah. I get the skillet out of the oven. Everything is good. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to get the pizza off of the skillet. Oh. So I have to take one of my gloves off. Yeah. And my hand barely slipped. And I burned it. It was only on there for like a second. But you can, hold on. I wonder if you can feel. I don't know if you can feel that. It's kind of small.
Where?
Right here.
Oh yeah. Ow. Did you get his blister?
Yeah, and then so what happened was that happened. And so I tried to switch hands. Mm-hmm. So I'm with the spatula and it slips for a second and I burned myself right here.
Oh, no.
What I did was I ran my hands under cold water for like 3 minutes.
Oh, good.
That helped a lot.
Good. And so, you put aloe after after.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody has kitchen accidents, even me.
Yeah. Oh,
like 3 in a row.
Yeah, but the good thing is that they weren't like super severe.
Yeah, there were all things that could have been maybe avoided had I paid slightly more attention.
I remember one time I was cooking something in home ec class when I was a part of this program in Seattle, and I was taking something out, and my teacher saw that my arm slightly hits the bottom of the rack, I think. So I'll show you right here where my arm is. I don't know if there's a scar there, but that's where I was burned slightly, and I had to put aloe on there.
Wow.
Yeah, but she was a big proponent of aloe vera gel, and I'm glad that she told me about it because it really does help a lot.
Was this in Hawaii?
No, this was in Seattle.
Oh,
when I was in Seattle.
Yeah.
I just said that.
I was thinking about how I'm going to dehydrate myself for these chocolate tacos.
Bubs.
What?
Come on.
Okay, what?
Don't do that.
Okay, it's just an idea, babes.
No. That's a little bit weird.
It's not a popular one in this household, apparently.
No, it isn't.
No.
No, it isn't.
It was good to see you this morning, babes.
Yes, it was, because usually you come over here on Friday, so.
But this is a Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday.
Yes, I had to come over here and help my Jaylo.
That's why.
That's why we found out that the deadline for this application was today.
Yes.
Yes.
Much to my dismay.
But things will get done however they're meant to, babes.
Right.
Well, you know what's funny, babes?
What?
Or kind of odd. Before I called you last night around 6.
Yes.
And right before that, I was thinking of telling you maybe I should come over on Thursday because it would give us both an extra day to like unwind and prepare. And now after looking at the application, I'm very glad I didn't say that.
No. Well, I was thinking about it too because had I had you come on Friday and I would have filled this out, I wouldn't have a lot of time. Since I got it last Friday.
Yeah.
Because sometimes for some reason it takes like a week for those things to come. I don't know why. But since I got it last Friday, it wouldn't have given me enough time for today. There just would be no way. And because of how things are worded in the application, it's best that there's a reason why today was the day to figure that out, I guess. I honestly think so.
I'm glad, babe. I hope it goes good.
I hope so too. I hope I don't have any more guff.
I hope not either, babe.
Yo guff.
Yo guff.
No guff. No guff.
Yo guffies.
Yes, Guffy.
Jaylo.
Yeah.
Ah, Jaylo.
What's that?
Broke down 2 days ago. I told you about this, right?
I believe you did. And you made an investment, correct?
An investment in... Refresh my memory.
I don't know. You're the one who did it.
I don't remember making any kind of investment.
Okay.
I didn't...
Okay, it was an investment. What was it?
An investment in my cinematic knowledge, maybe.
Okay, I see. Okay.
We had spoken about before
That's
Sunrise.
what I was trying to say, but for some reason I said investment.
Nice. And, we covered it here last time, but I'm a fan of the movie. I've had a relationship with these characters since the mid to late 90s. But I've never wanted to see the sequels because I didn't want to spoil our relationship together. Me and the characters in the movie.
Yes.
Not me and you.
Yeah.
But I decided, because I do have the trilogy, because I am a film nerd, that I would sit down and watch the first sequel before sunset.
Before sunrise, you mean?
No, the sequel is called Before Sunset.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Before trilogy.
Okay.
There's Before Sunset and Before Midnight. Those are the two sequels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I probably shouldn't just have expected you to know that.
Yes.
Because you're not as much of a film geek as I am, and you didn't grow up watching Before Sunrise.
I did not even hear about it until last week.
Yes. And I've been in this relationship for like pretty much my entire adult life. I've been in this relationship since I was 13. So
you're talking as if you know these people.
I'm in a relationship with the characters. I should have told you that Julie Delphi and Ethan Hawke came over to my place last week and said, you got to tell her about us. No, they did not do that. Yeah. But in any event.
And it was pre-Uma, by the way.
It was pre-Uma.
Pre-Uma.
I knew that, babes.
Yeah, but then he's no longer with Uma, so.
They met on the set of Gattaca, I believe. I never saw it, but I heard that it was a sci-fi movie that wasn't that good.
Okay.
I saw a picture of their daughter online. She looked kind of hot. She's in her 20s now. So it's creepy, but not illegal. But not as hot as my Jaylo.
Thank you. I'm glad you fixed that.
Yes.
Because I would have had to,
I
would have to give you what for.
You know what, babes? She looks hot to somebody who's never seen a Jaylo. But anyway.
Are you trying to butter me up, bub?
Yes. Let me tell you about
Okay.
Let's go on this little Before trilogy exclusion.
Okay.
So, after our talk on Sunday, I'm like, I really do owe it to myself to have some knowledge of the sequels. Mm-hmm. Because I can make assumptions about what happened after that night. Mm-hmm. It's not really credible since they did follow up the story. Mm-hmm. Like, it's nice that I have these little theories, but I need to know what is really the case. So, I sat down, I watched Before Sunset, which we're going to watch later this week, so I'm not going to give any real spoilers about it. Let's just say, overall, I thought it was a really, really good movie. There's a few things that were disappointing, but nothing extreme, though.
Okay.
Nothing extreme. I really liked it, and I was going to leave it at that. Mm-hmm. I do virtual dinners with friends of mine on Mondays, usually.
Yes.
About an hour before we were supposed to do that, a good buddy of mine texted and said that he was feeling sick, so we should postpone it to next week. Mm-hmm. Then I started thinking, well, I have the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Why not just see?
Why is it? Yeah.
Why not just finish this tonight?
Right.
I put on Before Midnight, and to be honest, I still think that Before Sunrise is the best in the trilogy.
Right.
Now, a lot of that could be my bias because I've been watching this movie for almost 25 years. Mm-hmm. Right. So you might not feel the same way as I do. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I think the last film, Before Midnight, is probably my second favorite in the trilogy. It's really, really good. It's not Before Sunrise, but it's really good. And Before Sunset, the second film in the trilogy is still pretty good, even though it's my least favorite.
Right.
And we are going to watch those films on Friday.
Ah.
How are you feeling about that?
So I really agree with you when you said before you watch the sequels that this Before Sunrise should be a story in itself and it should not have a sequel.
Yeah.
That's how you felt before you saw the sequel.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to find out what happens to these lovers, because they said that they were going to see each other 6 months from that time in December, and at 9 o'clock. Was it 9
6
o'clock?
6
o'clock.
December of 1994.
Yes.
Yeah.
December of 1994, 6 o'clock. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I would have been completely fine with them never doing a sequel and this just being an open question.
Right.
Having said that, I am glad I watched the sequel. So I'll tell you a couple things that don't really give much away from the movies. Mm-hmm. Both of the sequels are based in Europe. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I was concerned that they were going to do, which I'm glad that they didn't do.
Yeah.
Because I think lesser films would have done this.
Yeah.
Is I was afraid that they were going to bring back other characters from the first film, like the guys who were throwing the play or the bartender who Jesse got the free alcohol from. They didn't do that. They didn't cheapen the movie by bringing those characters back.
Bringing the characters back.
Yeah, you never see or hear about them again.
Right, okay.
And
Not even the guy with the play that was going to dress up like a cow.
No.
Okay.
And I really like that they didn't go that because I think that would have cheapened the experience. So after I watched these movies, I went on Wikipedia and I read a little bit more. Do you know what inspired the original film?
What's that?
Okay, so Richard Linklater, the director, was going from, I want to say, New York to Austin, and he had a layover in Philadelphia that was especially long. According to Wikipedia, he met this lady and they spent a night in Philadelphia together.
Okay.
So I think he might have been promoting Slacker, one of his earlier movies.
Okay.
He comes back, he can't get in contact with her. So he Before Sunrise is loosely based on their story.
Is that before he had children?
Yes.
Okay.
Before Sunrise comes out, he lives his life. And I think, if I have the story right, they had released the sequel before Sunset, and somebody asked him about it. They did some digging and found out that the lady he was with in Philadelphia actually died before the first movie in the trilogy was released in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, it's very sad.
So then I watched an interview with Ethan Hawke where he's talking about the trilogy. And he said that the way that the first one came about is a friend of his had a small role in, oh God, what's the movie that everybody likes? Dazed and Confused.
I don't know. I never see the movie, so.
I think it's overrated. I'm like the only person who feels that way.
Okay.
He goes to see it with a screening with his buddy. Him and Richard Linklater start talking. Linklater sends him the script, and Ethan Hawke thinks that he has a part in the script, so he just starts critiquing it. And apparently he was only supposed to have the script so he could have something to audition with.
Yeah.
So they go in, and he gets the part, and then they're looking for a lady. They get Julie Delphi.
Yeah.
And one day Ethan Hawke starts criticizing it, like saying, this thing in the script isn't realistic. So Richard Linklater sets both of them down, and the three of them begin rewriting the script to make it more realistic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a really interesting way that the movie came
but all three of them collaborated?
Yes.
Wow.
According to Ethan Hawke.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and he said that he wanted to do the first sequel because when they started doing press for Before Sunrise, people would ask them if Jesse and Celine got together after the 6 months.
Right.
And for him, the open question mark was the path to the sequel.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, it would have been so much more interesting had they not answered that question.
Right, okay.
And
it would have been like somebody else?
What do you mean?
Another couple?
What do you mean another couple?
I mean another couple, but you didn't want them to answer the question about Jesse and Celine getting together.
Yeah, if it was up to me, they only would have done one film.
Okay.
But I did like the sequels, which is why we're watching them. Put it to you this way. If I thought the sequels were horrible, I'd just tell you everything about them. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, you're not going to watch it anyway, so here's what
Yeah. Jesse and Celine and
I know how you operate
killing
now,
each other. And,
which apparently that wasn't true.
No, that did not happen. I will tell you this. They are both still alive at the end of the third movie.
That's good. Nobody killed each other. That's good.
Yes, at least not in these films.
It wasn't like one of them was hanging off a chandelier and they fell or something.
Yeah. But again, I'm really interested to see if you're still going to agree with me that the first one is the best in the trilogy. Because I am a little bit too close to the first film.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I can understand. I mean, it is a good story.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I mean, it's just, for the most part, just two of them. The two of them going on this this journey together, I guess. Day together. Yeah.
The cool thing about Before Sunset is it's done in real time, which basically means that the movie starts and ends in the span of the film. So you know how like Before Sunrise took place over one night? Mm-hmm. Before Sunset is an hour and 20 minutes, and it takes place over an hour and 20 minute period. So it's not like it takes place and there are all these jumps and times like most movies.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so kind of like...
It actually goes, it actually fits the hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of like Rope did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like one day this happens, the next day it happens, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it gets kind of confusing that way.
It does.
Yeah.
But before we watch those films, we are going to do a Woody Harrelson, Bill Murray thing for the next 2 nights.
Oh, goodness.
Starting off with Kingpin and Broken Flowers. Are you excited about this?
I'm not sure what to expect because I don't really know a lot about... I know that Bill Murray does a lot of funny stuff, funny movies. He's so funny in Rushmore.
Yeah, he's great in that.
Yeah, and then you told me about Kingpin and Broken Flowers, and you said that you think I would like it.
Yeah, I'm really I'm excited about tonight, but I'm really interested to see what you think of The People versus Larry Flint tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I heard some good things about the movie, but I also heard there was like some controversy with it. Right?
Listen, there is some nudity and profanity in it.
Oh, just like almost every movie that you showed me had that.
That's not true, is it?
A lot of profanity. I don't know about the nudity part.
No, not in every movie.
Well, maybe not in every movie, but there were still some hints of it in certain movies. I think the most profanity laced one that you showed me was probably Jackie Brown.
Oh yeah, but you like that though, right? Didn't you say you would have recommended to people?
I would. I mean, I don't like it as much as you do, though. I will say that.
That is a top 5 favorite movie for me.
Okay, and I don't make lists.
No, but gun to my head, if somebody said you have to make a top 5 list, Jackie Brown is in that list for me.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
That's fair enough.
But we'll have some fun movie nights, babes.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes, that'll be interesting.
I understand, Jaylo.
Yeah.
That you have been reading more of 1984.
Yes, and I left off... I'm going to start chapter 6 in part 2. It's getting very interesting.
Tell me.
Well, so... It's interesting because Winston Smith is the protagonist, and he's been carrying on this relationship with Julia, and the reason why they got together is because Julia admits that she was in love or is in love with Winston, and she's pretending to be a part of the party, but she isn't. And they've been carrying on this love affair for like, I don't know how many months. Might have been a couple months. I can't remember. And they've been trying to find hiding places because at that time, they were under communist rule, so they had to find places so that the thought police would not catch them in the act or doing anything without their supervision. So, the interesting thing about this is that she was able to obtain a lot of things from the black market, like chocolate, we saw in the beginning of the story, to real coffee, real makeup. And she doesn't explain how she's able to get that. I'm guessing she had to like go top secret, however she was supposed to, and get all these things. And I'm guessing the inner party knows more about those things. I mean, I don't know much about the proles, as Winston calls them, but I'm starting to learn a little bit more about them. And then when Winston would talk to her about what may have happened before the revolution, she just doesn't want to talk about it. It's like maybe she refuses to know about it, or she just wants to be oblivious to it, like nothing's wrong. In her 26-year-old mind, nothing is wrong. But in Winston's 39-year-old mind, everything is wrong. So I think it's kind of interesting the correlation between the two characters and where they are in their lives.
between the stupidity of youth represented by Julia,
Yes.
and the reality of getting older represented by Winston, you believe?
Right. That the reality that some things have changed, and not for the better. And then when they were when it was being described about Hate Week, that was pretty disturbing. Especially when it was when the author stated about the ground, this part of ground that these children were playing on, and some bomb just blew them all up, and nobody seemed to care because of what was being drilled into their heads from the telescreens. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Yeah. It is.
It's a very complex book that does make you think a lot.
It really does. It really does. I mean, even if you look a certain way, sneeze a certain way, maybe even said something, and then you have the newspeak words, which are kind of strange, and then you have the what Winston was doing was putting things in pneumatic tubes and then incinerating them in the memory holes so that things were being evaporated physically and otherwise, right? It's so interesting. It really, I mean, in my 17-year-old brain,
when you first started,
when I started reading that about the telescreen part, I'm like, this is just so odd.
But now it's like we have that stuff almost.
Almost, it's not quite there, but
it's a lot closer.
It's scary to think that may or may not happen. I don't know.
A question that comes into my head.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about Orwell and say he was such a genius, which I do agree with. Because
yes.
I like some of his books that aren't even popular.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they say he's such a genius. He predicted the future. And I'm wondering, in your opinion, and I know the telescreens are a thing, but let's talk about like the themes of actual people, what they go on, being spied upon, being censored in a way, being told to think a certain way, right?
Yes.
Is it that he predicted the future, or is it that George Orwell saw things that have been trends in society for generations, and he just placed it in a future setting?
I don't know that he predicted the future, because some people have even said that this book is also prophetic, which, and that may be some truth to it. But I think because he hated totalitarianism, apparently he did not like totalitarianism, as evidenced in Animal Farm, and so far in 1984. That maybe he was afraid that would happen in the future. Not that he predicted it, but maybe that it was that he was afraid. And it is a very telling and poignant book so far.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it. Telescreens we kind of have now, but the book was considered a classic before.
Are you talking about like the computer screens?
Yes.
Or
that's what I think of like as a telescreen in my head.
I think that. Yeah, but what I think about telescreens, I think about, back then it was written in 1949.
Right.
But I would think it would have been like some TV type device that would be hooked up in your house where people are spying on you every single waking moment of your life. But it isn't as, but today it's more covert. I don't know.
Yeah, see here's how I think about it. The telescreen thing, we could go back and forth about whether he got right. If he didn't, he got it fairly closely.
Yeah.
But the book was considered a classic before then. And so the older I get, the more I think that he's not and we have things now where there's like the PC mob.
Right. The thought police.
They could represent the thought police. You could also say that for some people on the right too, that they represent thought police. So I don't think that he's a genius for predicting the telescreen.
I don't think he predicted anything, really.
I think there's an argument to be made for that. And I don't think it's that he predicted the PC mob or anything.
Yeah.
I think what it is these things have always been going on. Governments have always been trying to censor speech in some way, or some group has always been trying to control the way you think. And he just knew how to word it a specific way to where the masses could relate to it. Does any of that make sense?
Maybe, yeah. He just, it seemed like what was around him, he didn't like what he was seeing.
Yeah.
And he wanted to write, maybe he wanted to write a story, what if this really did happen? What if things like words and names and people and places and, what if some of these things were evaporated, like he calls them? And it goes out of existence, and nobody remembers them anymore.
Do you think it's possible to have a society without censorship?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Without censorship?
Yeah, without censorship.
Yeah. I think it's possible to have a society without censorship? Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I mean, there should be no censoring of any kind.
But censorship could take many different forms, right? So oftentimes we imagine it as the government, or we could even say it's corporations. Now, back in the 90s, that could have been, TV networks saying that a certain program that questions advertisers too much won't get play. Today it could be people saying, well, Twitter won't let this person speak on this issue, or or Facebook and Google won't let their posts be seen.
Or only limited, your searches will be filtered or something,
And when you were a kid, it could take the form of a parent or an older person telling you not to say that. And so I'm wondering, do you really believe, knowing that I'm not just talking about governments, that there could be a society without censorship? And I don't think that there could be.
I don't know. I can't answer that. It's hard to say because it's an ongoing ever suffering, long suffering battle, right?
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be a battle to the end, right? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know that it's going to completely stop, altogether. But I hope that, I would hope that eventually it'll come to an end. And I don't know if it's going to come to an end in our lifetime. But maybe by then I'll be gone, so I won't have to worry about it.
Well, then it won't be in your lifetime.
No, that's what I mean. Yes. I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime or not. But I said maybe by then I'll be gone, so I won't have to worry about it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's what you see, you're not with it this morning.
Oh, I think I'm with it.
Really?
No, I'm with you. Not with you. Okay.
Whatever it is.
Oh my goodness. But I was just curious about that, Oops.
Yeah, but it's I'm interested to read more of the book because it really is, in my adult brain now, it's so much more clearer than it would have been in my 17-year-old brain, because I'm just like, I cannot read this. Huh. I mean, I kind of wondered about like rereading things, or I remember in my junior year, as I've told you before, that my goal was to read as many classics as possible.
Yes.
And one of the classics I tried to read was Great Expectations. It's very confusing.
I've never even tried to read that book.
I only read like the first half of the book, and then I just was like, I can't read this anymore. It's too hard.
Oddly enough, even though I've read a lot of books, I've read very few classics.
I do encourage you to read The Great Gatsby. It is a good book.
I've read that.
You did?
I thought it was The OK Gatsby. I thought that would have been a better title.
The OK Gatsby.
Yeah, it was okay. It was. To me, it wasn't a great book. Now, it could have also been that I was in my early 20s when I read it, and perhaps I needed some life experience.
Yeah.
If I revisit it now, I could think it's one of the best books ever written.
No, I think my favorite book that I ever read in school, that I still think is a classic today, is To Kill a Mockingbird.
That was a good book.
Yeah, it's my, I would say it's like my favorite fictional book. One of them.
Wow. I believe our 5th grade teacher read it to us.
Great book.
To me, favorite fiction would probably have to be A Confederacy of Dunces.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like To Kill a Mockingbird slightly better than that. Not I mean, the Confederacy of Dunces is really, really funny.
Yeah.
But I think To Kill a Mockingbird really makes you think about what really happened back then.
Either Confederacy of Dunces or Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Okay.
I know I've talked about both books a lot, but they have both had a pretty big impact on my life.
That's such a weird title.
It's a great book, though.
I'm sure it is.
Oh my God, you got to read that sometime, babe. I would reread it with you. It would be like my fourth or fifth time reading it. It would be my fourth time reading it.
Does it have anything to do with motorcycles?
To an extent, but it's you know the story. It's about this guy and his son taking a trip across the country. So there is a little bit about motorcycle, but it's not like 10 chapters.
It's not all about motorcycles.
No. It's about a man and a son.
And they're on motorcycles.
In part of the book, yes.
In part of the book, okay.
Yes.
And how old is his son?
I think his son Chris is like 10 or 12, somewhere around then.
Okay, so I'm pretty young still.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of Chris,
mm-hmm.
I woke up and found out some good news this morning.
What about?
Are you a fan of the stand-up comedy of Mr. Christopher Rock?
Christopher Rock, a little bit. I mean, I don't really go deep with him.
Well, some people call him Chris, so it's possible you know him better.
His mother calls him Chrissy.
Are you a fan of Chrissy Rock? Do you like the comedy of Chrissy Rock? Little Chrissy Rock.
No, the reason why I know that is because I heard an interview with her and she kept referring to him as Chrissy.
Little Chrissy Rock.
No, Chrissy.
Okay.
Chrissy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. That is just, yes.
So you watch the comedy of Chrissy Rock?
A little bit. I've heard bits and pieces, but I don't really, yeah.
Okay, so about 3 years ago, Chrissy Rock released a comedy special on Netflix. I think it's called Tambourine Man.
Oh, wow.
I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said the person's name. I watched it with a good friend of mine who you've met.
Okay.
The one who asked if you had sisters.
Oh,
the one who was like,
yeah.
Alana, you drove Rick crazy.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know.
I actually got to call him next week.
Yeah, you should.
He's a good guy. Little horny, but a good guy.
Apparently.
But who isn't horny in this day and age? Anyways. So
let's get off of that. Okay, go on.
So Tambourine Man comes out, and it's not my favorite special of his, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I watched it, whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I wake up this morning, and I hear that Chris Rock re-released the special, but he didn't just re-release it. Mm-hmm. He added 33 more minutes.
Oh.
Took out some stuff that he didn't feel was working in the special. Mm-hmm. Shot it in front of a different audience. I guess he did this pre-COVID. I haven't seen it yet.
Wow, okay. A different audience.
Yeah, and so I forgot the new name of it, but the subtitle to the special is Tambourine Man.
Okay.
Or whatever the name of the old special was.
Okay.
And then I'm like, is that on Netflix now? And I looked and it is.
Oh, wow.
So when I go home Saturday night, I'm probably going to watch that.
Oh, wow.
I'm excited about that.
Very good.
Because presumably if it's a different audience, that means even with the material that was in the original special, he probably delivers it a little bit differently.
Right.
Which will be exciting to experience.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. What's your favorite Chrissy Rock special?
I don't watch a lot of comedy specials, and it's not that, I don't know. I can't say, Bubs.
That's a difference between me and you, because
I'm not as obsessed with comedy specials as you are.
I don't watch a lot now, but I used to back in the day. Mm-hmm. Someday we got to do a comedy special night. But you don't seem very excited.
Well, I mean, I don't watch a lot of them, so it's I mean, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of them. Some of them are, I just don't. I don't know why. I like the Chris Rock specials that are considered the classics. Mm-hmm. But he has one special called, I think it's called Shoot the Messenger or Blame the Messenger. Uh-huh. I think it's Shoot the Messenger. That came out in 2004. Mm-hmm. No one really talks about that special too much today. To me, that's not just my favorite special of his. It's top 3 or 4 favorite of all time. Mm. Oh my God, that special is so incredible. There was one documentary that he helped. I think he wrote it or something.
Yeah, Good Hair.
Good Hair, and I've been wanting to see that. I thought it would be kind of a funny thing to see, but he was on Oprah premiering that or promoting that documentary, and he got the inspiration from his daughter.
Yeah, you told me that too.
Oh,
I think you said that here too, but that's okay.
Yes, I know. I probably did.
Yes. Maybe in a couple of weeks we should do a documentary weekend, but we'll figure that out.
Yes.
We still got to get it started this weekend, and we had discussed, babe, about doing a Juliette Lewis weekend next week.
Possibly.
Yeah.
There's a couple. I honestly think so. There's a couple movies I want to show you, That Night and The Other Sister.
Yeah, and I want to show you Natural Born Killers and From Dusk Till Dawn. Go on about That Night and The Other Sister. There,
but I think The Other Sister is I like it better than That Night. And did I tell you the premise of it?
You told me the premise of The Other Sister. She has some mental difficulties. Yes,
she does. She has a mental disability, and it's basically her growing into an adult and moving out on her own and having a boyfriend and trying to do what everybody else is doing, even though she's got some things going on. And it's a fun movie. That Night, I believe, is more dramatic, where it's about this girl named Alice. I think her name is Alice Bloom. And she kind of she befriends Cheryl, who is played by Juliette Lewis. So Alice is like, I think 13 or 14. And Cheryl, who's played by Juliette Lewis, is like three years her senior. And she kind of follows, what goes on with her and her relationships.
Wait a second. I could be sleep deprived, but it sounded like you said Juliette Lewis played both characters.
No. Okay. No, I said Juliette Lewis plays Cheryl.
Yes.
And there's another girl who plays the younger girl, Alice.
Okay.
And Alice is kind of, observing Cheryl.
Yes.
As to how her relationships are. And she's around. Cheryl is 17 in the movie. And I think Alice is 13 or 14. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might.
No one really talks about that.
We might have to do that next weekend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I don't believe I watched all of That Night, but I remember it was good.
Nice. I would be very interested to get your take on Natural Born Killers and From Dusk Till Dawn.
I don't know if I'm gonna like those two movies, but
I like Natural Born Killers a lot. It's not my favorite movie, but I think From Dusk Till Dawn is a really, really good movie.
Okay.
Really good. It's like a slasher movie.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like, I don't know if you call it a slasher or a horror movie.
Is it kind of like a poking fun of slasher horror movies?
Well, I'll give you the premise.
Mm-hmm. I think you told me the premise already.
All right, well, you're going to hear it again then. George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino are these bank robbers.
Yes.
And they have to go down to Mexico to meet Cheech Marin, who is going to give them safe harbor. Mm-hmm. So they kidnap this family, and they go to this bar that is ran by vampires, and they have to fight the vampires to stay alive.
Okay.
I did tell you the premise of the movie.
Yes, you did.
I might have told it to you recently.
Yes, no, it was more than recently. You told me more than once.
Oh, really?
With Harvey Keitel was in it.
Oh, Harvey's great.
Harvey Keitel is the I guess he used to be a preacher or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Now he's fighting vampires.
Well, it's a great movie.
I pretty much memorized your explanations of them. Not all of them.
Okay, what other movies have I told you about? We should do that one day, Dave. We should sit down and I'll just say, tell me some stories from my life. And then I tell you stories from your life.
That'd be kind of funny, a funny segment.
Yes.
Yeah, there's other stories. You told me a lot about Before Sunrise.
I'm talking about movies you haven't seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kingpin. You told me about The People versus Larry Flint and how strange that was for your grandparents.
Yes. Did I tell you? I don't know why I did this.
What did you do?
I was a little bit of an asshole when I was in middle school.
That doesn't surprise me.
I took my parents...
I'm just kidding.
I took my grandparents to see Chasing Amy.
You did?
After I'd already seen it. And they were both like shocked by it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And they weren't shocked by it?
No, they were shocked by it.
Oh, okay.
That's just a great movie.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then for a couple years later, when I'd say, "Oh, let's go see a movie," and they'd be like, "Is it better than Chasing Amy?"
Oh, they didn't like it?
Yeah, they didn't like it.
Okay. Yeah, is it better than Chasing Amy? Was it the specific scene where she was singing at that club?
No. They didn't.
Just the whole entire thing.
No,
right?
They didn't mind any of the gay stuff. They were upset because it has a lot of strong language in it.
Oh, I thought they would be okay with it.
No, they were okay with the gay stuff. They just were...
No, I thought they were okay with that other stuff.
They were okay with strong language, but the movie is a little bit over the top with it.
Okay, so it's really overwhelming.
Yeah, so it would be something if it was just a curse word here or there, but
it's just a string of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a Kevin Smith movie, babes.
Oh gosh.
It's
like a Smiling Bob and
Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay, I'm sorry, Silent Bob. Okay.
Yes.
There's just Bob. I'm sorry, not Smiling Bob, Silent Bob. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. I was thinking of Sideshow Bob, but that's a different one.
So, I wouldn't show you Clerks,
okay,
which is my favorite Kevin Smith movie, but I might show you Chasing Amy.
Okay. I only saw parts of it, but I wasn't really interested in seeing the entire movie.
Oh, to me, that's brilliant. That's probably my favorite Ben Affleck movie.
Okay.
Yes.
But you never see the actual Amy.
No.
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 It's just the concept of chasing Amy.
Well, Silent Bob, aka Kevin Smith, explains who Amy is near the end of the film.
So let me ask you exactly, because I remember you told me what the explanation was. So what you were saying, what your explanation of chasing Amy was, is that Amy was a girl that he's been chasing since he was a teenager, right?
Not exactly. You're kind of close.
Okay.
He is a comic book artist. And he works on this comic book called Blunt Man and Chronic.
Okay.
No, but there's a story about why it's called that. Okay. I'm going to get to that in just a second. It's not what you think it is.
Okay. I was going to say, okay.
Okay. He works on it with his friend Jason Lee. Mm-hmm. Right, Jason Lee is awesome in this movie. Okay. And Jason Lee is this homophobic, very loudmouth type of wants to be an aggro male type of guy.
Okay,
right? Okay, so they go to this comic book convention, and one of the guys introduces them to Alyssa, who is played by Joey Lauren Adams.
Yes.
And he falls in love with her. She's gay.
Right.
And it's about him being attracted to her. So the reason that the comic book is called Blunt Man and Chronic is because it's based off of Jay and Silent Bob. And he thought by changing their names, he would get away with not having to pay them, but they lawyered up. Oh. And so the scene where you hear the explanation about who Amy is when he goes to a cafe or goes to a diner to meet them and pay them royalties for the comic.
Really? Oh. Yeah. Okay. For the comic that was in the movie.
Yes, for Blunt Man and Chronic.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we'll like so many other films I want to show you. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Yes, we're not getting there this weekend, and something tells me we're not getting there next weekend or in February. But at some point in the future, we'll get there.
No.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh. Just as long as you're still enjoying exploring cinema with me.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's interesting. That's a cool thing about the exploring cinema is you just don't know where you're gonna go.
That's right, babes.
At any time. Any given time.
That's right, babes.
It's like cinema is a forest.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, you can go one way, but you can go this way, followed by this way, but you don't know where you're going to end up. Mm-hmm. If you're going to like it and you're like, I don't like this path anymore.
But it's a fascinating exploration of our culture and
right.
who we are.
Right.
Unfortunately, I do not have any Blunt Man and Chronic.
That's not a real comic book.
I don't think they are, but you know that Kevin Smith did comic books for a while.
Really?
Like this was after he became a famous director. I think he did a couple issues of Batman.
Oh, wow.
And his daughter's named Harley Quinn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's an actress.
Wasn't there, is it Harlow or Harley?
Harley Quinn.
Wasn't there a person named Harlow Quinn?
I don't know about that, but Harley Quinn is a name of a character from the Batman comic books.
It's kind of a cool name.
Yeah, Harley Quinn Smith.
Harley Quinn Smith, yeah.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. Do you know what Penn Jillette's daughter's name is?
Pencil?
No.
Crayon?
No. You want me to tell you?
Gillette razor?
No.
What is...
Moxie Crime Fighter.
Oh, no. Are you serious? That might have been...
That's what he said, yeah.
You know what? They may have been... So I remember when I used to watch VH1 countdowns, and some of them were pretty funny. Mm-hmm. And they had this countdown of celebrities who gave their kids the weirdest names ever. That might have been in the countdown. I don't know, but that's a weird name.
I could see that.
Moxie Crime Fighter?
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Apparently he's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I heard he was huge.
At one point, but he went on some potato diet a couple years ago.
Potato diet?
Yeah, where he ate nothing but potatoes for like a month, I think.
Wow.
I'm going to have the specifics a little bit off, but you know how I am.
I wonder how he did it if he boiled them instead of baked them.
I don't know.
Because I heard boiling potatoes is healthier than baking them all the time. I'm not sure if that's correct. Don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah. I actually read his book, God No, and Signs You Might Be an Atheist, and Kevin Smith's book, Tufts, hit around the same time. Mm-hmm. And they were both pretty good books. There's a book of Kevin Smith's that I keep trying to find, and when I lived in Honolulu, it was one of those books that I would read parts of it whenever I would go to Borders, and it was called Silent Bob Speaks.
Oh, wow.
But so far I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, really?
Like in an E format.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember him making fun of Reese Witherspoon in the book. Calling her like Greasy Reese or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. You're not a Reese Witherspoon fan, huh?
Apparently he's not.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's too bad. I guess people have their own opinions.
Yes. He hates, well, I don't know if he hates her, but he has problems with her and Bruce Willis.
With Reese Witherspoon and Bruce Willis?
Yes.
Well, then, does he have a problem with Demi Moore?
I have no clue. You'd have to ask him that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's,
Bruce Willis.
I think Demi Moore is a talented actress, but I think she has a weird voice.
She does. Very raspy.
It sounds kind of raspy. I'm like, what is wrong with your throat, woman?
Mm-hmm. She went through a lot of stuff. I don't know if you ever read her book.
No, I don't know if I want to.
It was kind of intense.
What do you mean? Like didn't you say she had like a horrible childhood or something?
Yeah, it was a horrible childhood with her mom and dad and people her mom was dating and all that stuff.
Wow.
And then, yeah, it did not seem like a fun scene.
I still cannot believe that people thought that her and Ashton Kutcher actually made a good couple. I just don't get it.
I don't know who thought that besides for them.
I don't know either, but I think it was better for him to end up with Mila Kunis.
Yeah. Although she might be starting to think that now. Maybe they're spending too much time together. And she's like, you should really call to me up and maybe you should go over there.
Yeah, maybe you should hang out with my ex-boyfriend, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Maybe you could...
Oh, that's right. She went out with him.
He for a lot of years.
For a lot of years, really?
A lot. I don't know how many years, but I would imagine it was a lot of years because... when I first heard that they were together, I'm like, that's a weird pairing. Mm-hmm. That's a really weird pairing. I don't know, and I I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about Mila Kunis, but all I remember is when she was on that 70s show, she was like the most whiniest rich kid I ever heard in my life.
I didn't even know that her character was supposed to be rich.
Either she was rich or I forgot what it was, but she was like really like super whiny in the show.
Now, keep in mind, this was before I met my Jaylo. Mm-hmm. But I thought she was very hot on that show.
I'm sure she was. Yeah. But I didn't. I thought she was like extremely whiny and. Yeah.
Good show though.
Yeah, I don't know how Stephen Hyde and Michael Kelso kept up with Jackie.
I don't know either.
Yeah, because she dated Michael before she dated Stephen, I believe.
That's right. I think you're right.
Stephen was weird though. He just seemed like I don't know if it's true. He seemed like antisocial in his character.
He was great on that show though.
But he was good.
Despite his personal issues.
I mean, maybe he's not like that in real life, but on the show he was kind of monotone, antisocial. I don't know.
I know he got Me Too'd.
Oh, really?
And I think it was pretty serious.
Oh, really?
I think it was more than just he said hi to me and I didn't like his inclination.
He got Me Too'd by somebody?
I think it was by a couple of different people.
Wow.
It wasn't like a Garrison Keillor Me Too'd. It was like... Oh.
It wasn't like overblown like Garrison Keillor's was, right?
Well, I mean... I don't know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
But the allegations, if I remember correctly, were pretty serious.
Wow.
Now, I don't know how that whole thing panned out. I don't follow his life in great detail, but I do remember hearing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. Stephen Hyde.
Yeah, I forgot who played him.
That was Danny Masterson? I think that's right.
Danny Masterson's a woman.
Who am I thinking of? It was the dude with the...
It wasn't Topher Grace.
No, it wasn't Topher Grace. It was the other dude.
No, Danny Masterson's a woman, I think.
I'm glad you corrected me on that.
I don't remember who it was.
Some Masterson.
Danny something. Maybe it is Danny something. I can't remember what it was.
Or some Danny or some Masterson.
I believe Danny Masterson is a woman.
Okay. Well, in any event, I hope that Stephen...
And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But in fact, I think we should Google it after we get off this thing or look at it.
I hope that the guy who played Stephen Kelso has... Or not Stephen Kelso.
Michael Kelso.
Hyde.
Stephen Hyde, I mean. Yeah.
I hope the dude who played Hyde gets his life together and stops touching women in the hide. I don't know that he did that. And I hope that those were just like fake accusations.
I hope they were fake accusations.
But it sounded pretty serious. I think they fired him from some TV show.
I didn't even hear about that at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so many people getting Me Too.
Was this like recently, like a few years ago?
This was like a few years ago when the whole thing was at its height.
Wow.
Before Joe Biden stopped Me Too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, now they can call it Bite Me Too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness, whoa.
Yes, you did this, Joe. Yeah, well, bite me.
Oh my goodness.
That's what he basically saying. I don't know.
Did he say that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Yes.
Bite me too. That's what they should call it.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, I digress.
Yes.
You look like.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, I'm happy for you, babes. Oh, babes, you just rubbing my cheeks. Okay.
Sandpaper face.
Paper face. Alana.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss right now?
I did not have any. Oh, did you tell your dream?
Oh, no. I didn't tell my
I didn't have any dreams last night. But
I thought you did.
Did I? The other night I had a dream. I'll just tell this one really quickly.
Go ahead.
I think I was trying to write out a complaint about something.
Yeah.
Lately I've been having, like, maybe not lately, but a couple of times I've had computer dreams. And I was on my computer and I was writing out something and I could not hear my JAWS. It was very strange.
And JAWS, for people who are not blind, is a screen reader.
Yes, and I couldn't hear it. I'm like, what is going on with this thing? And so I didn't know what I was writing, but I think your dream is a little bit more funnier.
Okay, so last night I fell asleep and Alana takes me to her relative's house, who I'm assuming are a aunt and uncle. Alana goes to the bedroom before I can join her.
If I even let him. Go on.
You would if it's your aunt and uncle's house.
No, I wouldn't.
No, you're conservative. You wouldn't let me join you.
Okay, go on to the dream. Go on to the dream. We're getting off track here.
Okay. Her uncle sits me down and says, hey, there's this documentary I want you to watch. And it's about this alligator who gets involved in politics. It's really, really, really long. And by what I believe is the end of the documentary, I start smelling eggs and can tell that it's her uncle cooking on the stovetop. Now, I hate eggs. So I'm thinking to myself, what excuse can I use? And I'm thinking I could say, I need to go to sleep right now because I haven't slept in a while. Then I woke up.
That was weird.
Yes.
Yes.
See, that's the other reason I feel awkward about wanting to meet your relatives. It's not just the room thing, although that plays into it. But it's also, I feel like I really offend them if I turn down eating eggs.
Well, like I told you before, Bubs, because, you know, for the most part, you want to try different things, right?
For the most part, with some exceptions. But
here's the thing, though.
Go ahead.
There are times where people have thought that they didn't like something. Like, I thought I didn't like sushi until I tried different types of sushi or different ways of making it. I didn't like kombucha, and I only had a little bit of exposure to kombucha. I didn't know if I liked it because it was kombucha I got from the store, and that one was a little overpowering. But you made some kombucha for me, and now I love kombucha. But I think that in this case, and it doesn't matter if it's eggs or not, I think in this case, the only way that you know if you're going to like it is if you actually try. And you may not like one way that something is made, but you may like it a different way.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
If we went to one of your relatives' house, let's say it's, I don't know, Thanksgiving of this year.
Yeah.
And they make breakfast and offer me eggs. And I say no. One, I'm assuming they would be offended. And two, I'm wondering, would you be super embarrassed by that?
I would be embarrassed more if you threw a fit about it. If you said it politely, like, no, thank you, I don't want any right now, or whatever, that would embarrass me that much.
Okay.
I mean, they already know that I don't like oatmeal.
Yeah.
And so they have since stopped giving me oatmeal.
Have you?
But this is not oatmeal. And I think, to be fair, because if this ever happens, if you meet them for the first time and if they give you some eggs for breakfast, right? Yes. I think it's only fair to at least try a little bit, and if you don't like it, you don't have to eat all of it. You could give it to me even.
One of the things I'm worried about, babes, is what if I put it in my mouth and I vomit it up?
I honestly think it's in your head, Bubs.
I have done that with eggs before.
I know, but it's you don't have to take like a huge spoonful. You could take like a little sliver.
I'll be like one of those little kids who has this like, let me see your hand. Like, hold on, I'm gonna put your hand down flat.
Okay.
I take like this much and I like force it down my mouth.
Force it down your throat?
Yeah, like this, like.
That's kind of how. That's kind of
1/8 of a quarter of half a teaspoon.
That's kind of how I feel with cantaloupe, because I don't like cantaloupe.
I didn't know that about.
I don't like cantaloupe, or I'm not a melon person.
I'm not a huge melon person, but
I mean, I'll have some,
yeah, if
they're there, but I won't eat a lot of it because I don't like melons that much.
Did you come over to my house when I was experimenting with honeydew kombucha?
No, it sounds weird. Did you? No.
I can't remember if I did it or if I just wanted to do it, but I had a name. It was going to be called Honeydew Bucha.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought melon isn't my favorite, I like it on occasion.
I mean, if it's like with a mixture of fruit, I can kind of handle it. I mean, it's not like I'm, I will admit that watermelon can be a little refreshing, but I'm really not a melon person. I do like star fruit. Have you tried star fruit?
Not in a long time. I think I had some when I lived in Hawaii.
It's a tropical fruit. Yeah. I like star fruit and I like breadfruit. Breadfruit is
I've not had breadfruit. You've told me about it before.
It does taste like bread. Yeah, it does taste like bread. But I digress. I mean, even with lamb, because I know that you really liked lamb, and I don't like lamb, but there is a certain way that if it's made,
yes,
I won't taste the gaminess that lamb usually has.
Yes, you told me about lamb.
Yeah, but I mean, it all depends. I mean, I honestly think that you should be honest with whoever does offer you eggs, but you should also open up your mind a little bit to this.
I'll be like, I'm sorry, eggs make me want to vomit, but let me have a little bit of this and I'll go into the bathroom and eat it so I don't like release myself all over your beautiful kitchen table. What if I said it like that?
Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they would be offended, but they'd probably ask me why.
Why you brought such a weirdo?
No. They would ask me why.
What's the
you
thing
don't like eggs?
With eggs?
Yeah, and I would tell them very, very politely that I think they should ask him instead of ask me why.
Yes, and I'd say, you should really ask Alana.
Well, I'm asking you.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it was.
That's white. Yes.
Babos.
Yes, Bubs.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Any TV shows this week? Any stuff like that?
All I have to say is since I've been introduced to the likes list with the dot.
Yes.
I'm really enjoying it. I listen to it pretty much every morning when I'm getting ready for my day.
Now, not only have you said that before, you said that before in this episode.
Yes, I'm sure I did. Yes. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment. I'm sorry. I repeated myself. I repeated myself.
That's all right, face.
Yeah, it's been a crazy morning. I hope that it will get better. It's now afternoon, I think.
Let me see. It is 12:40.
It's now afternoon.
Yes.
So, yeah, this whole application thing is just, I just feel like it's an extra thing I have to think about, but
it was weird because they were asking you about personal bank account information.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of said, ooh, let's back off for a second now.
So I'm very thankful that I don't have to worry about all this stuff being in today, because even if I filled it out last Friday, it would be everything would be, I don't think I would have had it in.
Now, if you can figure out, babes, a way to live on $100 a month, I will fill out that bank information for you.
$100 a month.
If you can figure that out, I will.
Living in this country for $100 a month.
I'm more than happy to fill out that bank information for you.
I'm sure it's possible.
Invest in my own future.
It's. Didn't you say that there was a book you read about a person spending their entire life not working or something?
I don't remember the name of the book, but I know what you're talking about. This was about 2 years ago.
Yeah, because you told me about it.
Yeah, it was a book about this. Maybe it was a year and a half ago. It was a book about a guy who tried to spend, I think, a couple years without spending any money.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, spending any money. I'm sorry.
So he lived outside. He either lived outside part of the year, or he would sleep on people's couches, and he would work, but he wouldn't accept currency. So it would be like a barter system. He'd work for food and stuff like that.
He'd work for food, but he wouldn't work for money.
I wish I remembered the name of that book, but I think I have an idea of what it's called, but I don't want to say.
Is it something free? Something free or?
No. I'm pretty sure I know the name of the book, but I don't want to say it in case I'm thinking of another book. Because I was randomly I started reading these like survival books around that time.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Survival books?
Yeah, how to survive on your own.
Right.
depending on the government to help you out there, Jaylo.
Why are you talking like that, Bubs?
I don't know. In case the dollar falls, Jaylo.
Bubs.
The dollar falls and the Confederate flag rises.
Bubs.
What?
You're getting a little ahead of yourself, Bubs.
Oh, it's a little bit too southern.
Yeah.
I think what it was, babes, is earlier you and I was telling you the story of Buddy Epson.
Yeah. Yes. And didn't you say that he was campaigning for this lady's opponent for...
Okay, so the lady who played Miss Jane on the Beverly Hillbillies was running for, I want to say, senator or governor of some state.
And this is in real life?
This is in real life.
Okay.
This was like 10 years after the show ended.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
He did radio ads against her saying, I love Miss Jane, but she's real liberal.
I just thought it was funny the way you said it.
Thank you. And then I started saying, well, that happens in the South. And you were starting to get that show mixed up with...
I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. I think it's because they were both Southern shows. But
then I said it would be funny if Ron Howard was the Richie Cunningham show.
Happy Days. Yep.
If he was the only one with a Southern accent, and he kept talking about his Ma and Paul and his Jaylo and the phones.
He doesn't have a Jaylo.
Oh.
He didn't have a Jaylo.
Yes. I do have to use the bathroom. I just have to pee,
I think we should end this before you make a big mess in your...
Over your bed. Well, I don't have to go that bad, but I should use the bathroom soon.
Man.
What?
You're being cleaned out there.
What does that mean?
You know what I mean. You're
because I pee a lot?
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, that is good.
You're being cleansed there.
I think after this, though, we should make out.
Yes.
And,
Bubs. You have to... Come on.
All fun with your mouth.
And...
Bubs! I'm just joking.
Oh,
or am I?
Yes, you are. You better, Bubs.
I'm not allowed to talk about certain things.
I
think... Okay, so here's my plan. Here's my plan. I pee. We make out. Not at the same time. And then we just see where the day goes from there.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
All right, but let's see if I still know how to kiss, because it's been a while. Let me see. I've been kissed for a while.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you want to say, babe?
I hope this makes you laugh.
Thank you.
I really do. I think it's one of our one of many lighthearted episodes.
We didn't get anything too deep.
No.
Oh, one last thing.
Oh.
This morning when you gave me hot chocolate, I told you that story about my grandfather.
Yes.
So this will be nice. So my grandfather, who died last year.
Very sad.
Very sad. But he had a very good sense of humor.
That's right.
When I was a little kid, we used to go to different diners and drink. He'd buy me like hot chocolate and pancakes. And, whatever.
Yum.
Not eggs, though.
Yes, pancakes.
By the way, my grandfather thought it was super weird. Two things about me that he openly told me he thought was super weird was that I wore my regular clothes when I went to bed.
One thing I think is weird, yes.
And that I didn't like eggs.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty weird. I would agree with your grandpa on that one.
My grandfather, what you should know about him, babes, is that he refused to eat chicken. So what does that tell you?
Okay, that's even weirder.
Well, I think he had to kill them when he was a little kid. Okay,
well, that kind of makes sense if you have to... Yeah, but I've known... Okay. I know we're getting off track here.
That's okay.
But I'll say this. I know people that hunt, and even though they hunt for their own food, they still eat it.
I think he had to, cut their heads off.
Oh. Well, that's how you kill chickens.
Well, you could shoot them if you're hungry.
Well, and then they run back and they run around without their heads.
Yeah, and so that freaked them out. Or you could starve them to death, or you could set them on fire.
Oh, okay. Go on.
You can torture them.
Go on.
Feather at a time. All right. Babes, we're getting off track.
I'll pull a finger out one at a time, bub.
So, anyways, the hot chocolate just reminded me of that. And I remembered one time we went to this restaurant and the waitress comes over and it's like, you have another kid every time I come in here. It seems like you give birth to another kid. How many is it now? And she's like, 6. And Alana thought that was funny.
He said it was 6.
The lady said it was 6.
The lady.
That she was up to 6 kids by then. I remember this one time,
yes,
babes. This is a different story, but we went to some diner. My grandfather also knew the waitress there.
Your grandpa and your grandma, right?
I was just me and my grandfather at this time.
Okay.
Anyways, my grandfather was a flirt.
Uh-huh.
I'm not like that.
No, you're not like that, but I would imagine you were kind of like that in your teens.
No.
Really? Okay.
Anyways, we go to this restaurant and we order and he's like to the waitress, he doesn't like eggs, and she's like, oh, my son's the same way. I always try to sneak it into his food. And he always notices. So when we're eating the food, I'm really paranoid that she tried to inject some eggs into my food. So I couldn't even enjoy the meal, and I was like 10 at the time.
Oh, you are such a scaredy cat. My goodness.
Oh, my goodness. Well, this scaredy cat has to pee, babes.
Yeah, I know.
But first, I need a kiss.
Again?
Yes. Oh.
Okay, enough.
All right, enough, babes. Enough of your debauchery.
Go to the debauchery or schmabauchery.
All right, babes. All right,
go.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.